Okay, we're going to do a quick wealth management sweep, wealthmanagement.com sweep, just to see if there's any juicy stuff for today. Edward Jones laying off home office workers and restructuring. Amid restructuring, home office, I'm guessing they're just getting rid of people who do what? One of the country's largest broker-dealers has started a multi-year restructuring of its home office team in St. Louis. Well, I'm not there, so that doesn't really matter, but I'm assuming they're getting rid of people for what reason again? Let's just check. Restructuring is part of an effort called Enterprise Reimagine. The firm in recent years has evolved its brand structures, by which Edward Jones advisors serve clients, including working more in teams. Our home office has been built to efficiently and effectively serve 20K financial advisors, serving clients in one pretty good way. Enterprise Reimagine for our home office is now making sure that our capabilities are invested in the right ways. That's a bunch of a word salad. That means nothing. Has been focused on investment advice, an efficient brokerage platform, and an excellent training program for new advisors, but that things have gotten a little bureaucratic, and there were areas of duplication. See that decision making is slow in the home office. Advisors see that. They know that if we become more efficient in the home office, we're going to tune our investment to ensure that their practices are more successful. This just means nothing. We're restructuring our home office. So what I'm getting here is that there's just way too many fucking people, that there are just too many hurdles and people to go through to get shit done, is what I'm hearing here. Edward Jones has 52,000 employees nationally and about 20K financial advisors, overseeing over 2.2 trillion in client assets. Restructuring will create efficiencies such as moving from 5 advisor platforms to 1. Okay, so yeah, they're just going for higher net worth clients. Yeah, here we go. I got it right. The national broker-dealer announced Wednesday a new division serving high net worth clients in the U.S. Edward Jones Generations will open to select clients starting in the second quarter and will expand more broadly to more of the firm's high net worth clients in 2026. All right, so people are just getting richer. You don't need the small fries anymore. We need to support our financial advisors through their entire life cycle as they begin, but also as they attain stratospheric levels of ambition and production, and so blah, 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 blah. All right, so the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Got it. That's all that really said. Let's continue. Let's see what we got here. Anything juicy today? Just want to make sure that no big business is going unnoticed. Exploring grants to March 19th. Am I looking into the future? Exploring grants to individuals, cleaning up misconceptions and compliance considerations for foundations. Oh, this was not. Why the fuck is that labeled like that? Was there a... Let's just check. Oh, it's a webinar. Alright. A scary time for student loan repayment programs. I can imagine. Stifle plans court appeal after $133 million FINRA arbitration award. The arbitration award concerned a Stifle broker's investments in structured notes, while the firm argued the clients were sophisticated and understood the risks. Oh, dude, somebody got screwed. Okay, I see what... FINRA arbitrators demanded Stifle pay $133 million in penalties, one of the most significant arbitration awards in the organization's history. But Stifle is fighting back, promising to appeal the decision in court. According to the arbitration award released on Wednesday, the accusations of negligence, fraud, and breach of contract stem from Stifle's investments in structured notes. Structured notes which are not complicated products, but they are, if you don't know the business or haven't seen the business. I can attest to that. The Janetti family, including David, Sarah, Lynn, Adam, and Leah, brought the claim, and the arbitrators' mammoth award far exceeded the $5 million in damages the claimants requested. Yeah, I mean They were asking for 5 million. They got 130 fucking 3. Holy hell. Good for them. FINRA opted for such a massive sum because it believed Stifel had, well, they did it because they think Stifel can pay it. That's kind of obvious. Had actual knowledge of the wrongfulness of the conduct, which they probably did. Stifel's pretty well renowned. They should know what a structured note carries for its own risk. F1 in the trailer. Hold on. What is this, a movie? Dude, I'm kind of in. Oh, this is not bad. It's like Cars, but in real life. It's like Lightning McQueen when he grows up. All right. They had knowledge of the conduct and knew there was a high probability of the Janetti family would face damages. However, despite knowing this, the firm allegedly intentionally pursued the course of conduct. I mean, what did they do? Buy a buffered... No, they probably bought like a barrier note on Tesla and lost everything. Who knows? These examples of egregious conduct included overconcentrating the Zanetti's account in structured notes. That's a stupid move. And accounts in limited industries. They fucked it over. Whoever did that. As disregarding Stifel's own investment philosophy in the Zanetti's accounts. Structured notes are generally investments, often debt, coupled with a derivative. You don't gotta tell me. FINRA also alleged Stifel placed its financial interests ahead of its clients. That's what it sounds like. And the firm breached its fiduciary duty. My guess is that whoever Stifel's investment advisor was working with somebody, at a big bank, and said, hey, if you shell out these structured notes, we get a commission. We'll give you a little of that payoff. And they just said, all right, look at these notes. They're really good. They're performing well, and they probably were until they're not. And then all of a sudden the commissions stop coming, and it's a whole fucking thing. According to Jeffrey Erez, an attorney representing the Janetti family, David Janetti moved from New York to Miami after selling his business, looking to invest intelligently for retirement. But Stifel broker Chuck Roberts convinced him that the structured notes were a secure, safe way to generate high returns with low risk. That's a fucked up... What's his name? Chuck Roberts. We're going to Google this guy. You have your own opinions, whoever's listening. Chuck Roberts. All right, what is he licensed? What are we looking at? Here, he's New York. He's been at Stifel, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, Global Markets. All right, same. Oppenheimer. All right, so this dude's been around. Oh, this dude was Lehman. Huh, funny. Customer dispute. On the 16th of January of this year, claimant alleges violations of Section 10B of the Securities Exchange Act, violation of regulation best interest, and breach of fiduciary duty. I'm assuming Section 10B of the SEC Act has something to do with what he just did with the... Let's see. Here we go. The current landscape. I don't think this is... Here we go. 10B. Okay, the securities 10B. I don't want to make this video too long. 10. Look for the B next to the 10. That's how we figure it out. Here we go. Section 10B is the primary anti-fraud statutory provision. The SEC primarily enforced this anti-fraud provision under Rule 10b-5, which prohibits the use of any device, scheme, or artifice to defraud. Rule 10b-5 also imposes liability for any misstatement or omission of material fact, or one that investors would think that was important to their decision to buy or sell a security. The U.S. Supreme Court recently expounded on 10b in a pair of cases in 2007 to Labs Incorporated versus Maker Issues and Rights Ltd. Limited. Those numbers determined the requisite specificity when alleging fraud, with Congress requiring enough facts from which to draw a strong inference that the defendant acted with the required state of mind. The Supreme Court determined that a strong inference means a showing of cogent and compelling evidence. In the 2007-2008 term, the Supreme Court determined that 10b does not provide non-government plaintiffs with a private cause of action against aiders and abettors in securities fraud cases, either explicitly or implicitly. Okay. So that's a big. All right. Well, that's why FINRA went after him. Okay. Yes, we were looking up Chuck Roberts. All right. Claimant alleges breach of. Oh shit! There's more than this guy. So this $5 million. This is probably the Janetti family. Claimant alleges breach of fiduciary duty. Holy hell! Again, this is in Florida, but this dude's registered in New York. It might have been the Janetti family again if it was David Janetti who moved out to Florida. Claimant alleges breach of fiduciary duty. Negligence, fraud, or so similar to the first one. $5 million. This is back in December. Okay, Florida might have been the same. Maybe this guy's just continuing to Florida. Okay, so either this is 100K. Okay, so either this dude just is a piece of. I'm not gonna say it. Client filed a stipulation of dismissal without prejudice. On 4/10/24, this was accepted by FINRA, and the matter was closed and removed from FINRA's arbitration docket by letter dated, what is that, April 19th, 2024. So this dude has a track record. Holy hell, this guy's got a track record. Had knowledge that a sales assistant, all right, so this guy had knowledge that a sales assistant and possible others replaced customer email addresses with the sales assistant's firm email address to facilitate the opening of online accounts and to lessen the amount of communications that were received by the customers. Therefore, trade confirmations were sent to the sales assistant rather than the customers, although the customer continued to receive their monthly account statements, prospectuses, and 1099 federal tax forms by mail. Roberts caused his firm's violation of SEC Rule 17A3 and, NASD Rule 3110. Roberts' relative opened several accounts at his member's firm, which Roberts serviced but failed to disclose to the firm. Okay, so this dude was committing fraud. Okay, so this was FINRA initiated. This is Illinois officiated. The state's coming after you, bro. I'm not a genius or nothing, but this Janetti family putting their money with this guy, you do the math. Granted, this is only $1,000, but money's money, man. 40K the first time. I'm gonna do a quick skim to see if there's anything here worth reading. Okay, so Illinois did their homework and we're like, we don't know if this dude's really worth. The hell is inter alia? Sounds like one of Elon Musk's kids. Among other things. Beginning in 2008, financial advisor made unsuitable and unauthorized trade. Fuck. Dude, this dude's got a record. Wow. All right, well, I mean, look, from 2010 to 2022, it didn't seem like he was doing too much bad shit. Maybe he was, but I don't know. Maybe the market just went against him. I don't know. Structured notes do give a juicy commission to the financial advisors who sell them. So, especially if they're from a member firm. So, that's a rough one, man. Prayers out to the Janetti family. I mean, I can imagine their money's fucked. But those damages, hopefully they're coming back to him. Don't know who's going to pay that, but, Stifel's not going to foot the bill for that guy. But Stifel broker Chuck Roberts convinced him that the structured notes were a secure, safe way to generate high returns with low risk. They are when the market's going your way, which was misrepresented according to Erez. And what's unique is it wasn't so much, he said, because we have text messages with the client. Oh, that's great. And text messages with many other clients that tell you exactly what the broker believed at the time and what he was representing to people at the time. Okay, so they have incriminating evidence to suggest that this dude really believed that what he was doing was right. Eris said arguing all of these texts were off channel without supervision from Stifle. Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that's smart. No, that's incredibly intelligent. I can't imagine why anybody's, angry at this point. FINRA mandated that Stifle pay David Janetti $26 million plus income compensatory damages and $78 million in punitive damages. Way to go, Janetti. While the compensatory damages and punitive damages for the other family members each grew into the hundreds of thousands, totaling about $106 million. Oh, and this is to Stifle, not to the Chuck Roberts guy. Oh, man, let me take a sip of water for this one. God. So, investing for dummies, in a way I can understand it, and the way I've seen it, a structured note is an incredibly useful tool. It's like it's a government bond, but with an incredibly high payout if things go right, and it can vary if things go wrong. If things go wrong, you can either be protected a little bit on the downside, or you can be protected nothing on the downside. So I'm assuming this guy was protected nothing on the downside, and those are usually the higher commissions. And apparently this Roberts guy was just dishing them out to this David Janetti, and Janetti, what the hell did Janetti know, right? I mean, he was just kind of going with the flow, but I mean, look at the payoff now. I doubt any structured note would have given him this return of what he's getting in the lawsuit. I don't know how those payments from the lawsuit are going to get to him, but I'm assuming, that return is rather substantial compared to what he'd get from an investment. In addition, Stifle had to pay the family's attorney fees. Oh, that's fun. Which FINRA said amounted to 25% of the total compensatory and punitive damages. So this company had to pay $26.5 million to make their problems go away. Penalty of $100 million. They typically take control of. I mean, Stifle's pretty big. I don't know how much money they have under management. So, $26 million. I mean, that's a substantial penalty, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously you feel for the guy, but something sniffs like it was just a lawyer's paradise here, where they just kept running up the bill as much as they could to see how much they could get paid. This $26 million is not nothing, man. That's a lot of dough for someone else fucking up. That's just my opinion. But in response to the decision, Stifle argued it plans to seek judicial review over the outsized award, which is supported by neither the facts nor the law. It kind of is supported by the family's attorney fees. The fact that the attorney's fees are $26 million fucking dollars, and this dude was asking for $5 million, should tell you everything you really need to know. Obviously read between the lines there, but it's pretty telling. I just got a text from one of my BFFs. I'm gonna read that because I'm human, and I'm gonna take a break. Making a comment about our Fortnite game yesterday. Gonna text back real quick. If you hear anything in the background, that's my brother watching Family Guy. The irony, because I'm also watching Family Guy in the background here. Here we go. The claims were brought by a sophisticated family of experienced and aggressive investors who understood the risks involved, participated in the selection of investments, monitored them closely, and only complained after incurring losses. The Stifle statement read, yeah, I mean, they did. It's obvious. I mean, they're asking for $5 million. they're getting 100 million and they paid their lawyers 26 million. I mean, it's out there in the clear. I see what Stifel's saying, but Stifle also should have covered their ass with this guy and known that, like, it goes both ways. Just because you're someone's financial advisor doesn't mean that person can't also be a piece of shit. Two things can be true. You have to cover your ass in this business. Erez noted that several of the family members in the suit were college-aged at the time of the investments, so he questioned their sophistication. True, but that's not the question here. The question is particularly David Janetti's involvement, is it not? You could say sophisticated or not sophisticated, but I believe we proved that the broker himself didn't understand the risk of the product he was selling, which is incredibly telling, seeing how this fucker was in the business since 1992. The fact that he's never heard of a structured note or doesn't know the risks involved is kind of hilarious that he's shelling them out. So if the broker himself doesn't understand the risk, how can the client have to know better than the broker? You'd be surprised what Google can fucking turn up. Apparently this broker of yours never turned up Google, Stifle. Punitive damages send a message. And the fact that Stifle was named and hit with such an immense fine should be seen as directed towards the firm rather than a wayward broker. According to Sander Ressler, the managing director of Essential Edge Compliance Outsourcing Services, it's a crazy amount, he said. If you're going to send a message, it's clear. It's not ambiguous. Erez said he had already filed a motion to confirm the award in federal court and was confident the Janetti family would remain victorious. He argued that being upset about the size of an award or a panel's decision was not grounds for appeal. It's reflexive to say, we're going to look into it and do a review, and the courts are there for that purpose, he said. But we calculated that the interest is about $1 million a month, so they do so at their own cost. Oh, this is a rough one, man. This is a rough one. It goes both ways because the Janetti family can obviously claim negligence. I mean, if you're a Joe Schmo, even if you know what a structured note is, you can claim you don't. Shit goes against you, and yes, you're going to lose a lot of your money if you structure the note a certain way. I'm assuming they knew that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know these guys. I don't know them. But if you're a financial advisor, my opinion, you shouldn't be shelling out these products if you don't know how they're going to perform on both the upside and the downside. My sniff test is telling me that these dudes only knew what was going to happen on the upside, and they, for the sake of just honesty, they get a nice commission. Okay, they get a nice commission on the back end. So as long as they could shell them out to this Janetti guy, who gives a shit, They were just shelling him out, and they were just collecting the reward until, stocks went down. And it's funny, it's telling that, you're hearing this now because I don't see this happening a year ago. Where is the S&P 500? Here we go. How do I check the S&P? Index. Oh, dude, where? I feel like I did this earlier, did I not? Yes, I did. Here we go. S&P 500. So, you're seeing this discount in the market. Numbers you haven't seen since, what is this? September, August-ish of last year. And granted, this is a very steep decline very quickly. I mean, this is a boatload of market value, and you're seeing this now. So I'm assuming whatever structured notes he had, just got shattered. And they also mentioned that they were kind of concentrated in a certain sector. So I'm assuming they chose, shit that was just popular. And the fact that these dudes were just kind of riding it out, seeing what worked, they're both correct. Janetti's correct on the end that they didn't know the risks, and Stifle's correct that the client's just complaining now that shit isn't going his way. So that's America. So that's that. Let's see if there's anything else other than that. I mean, that was a really good read. If there's nothing else that's good, we can end this right now. But I think we're good, man. That was a fantastic read. All right, we'll catch up next time.